Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy almost Halloween. And in honor of Halloween, I'm going to review the most Halloween-y sounding fragrance I have, which is Black Phantom by Kilian. But it's not really spooky or scary. Oh, actually, it is kind of Halloween-y because it smells like candy. The main note is chocolate. Anyways, story. When I first smelled it at Nordstrom, I was not in love. In fact, it was like a mediocre like. But on the way home, my arm was just glued to my nose and I couldn't stop smelling it. I couldn't take the smell away from my nose. And it was such a weird reaction that when it came down the line that I could get a bottle of this for a really good price, I pulled the trigger. Here we are. Notes are chocolate, rum, caramel, coffee, sugar, almond, and sandalwood. Yes, it is really sweet. It is a gourmand, if you know what that is. A gourmand is something that smells edible. It smells yummy. You would want to eat it, but do not eat it because there's not actually chocolate or alcohol in here. Not for human consumption, but it smells, to me, my tastes have changed. So if I gave you this review a couple months ago, it would be a different review, but I think this over time, it kind of reveals itself as immature. For a younger guy, and you know I am a younger guy, going out and clubby, like, yeah, this is awesome. This is a really good going out, like sexy clubbing. Oh, you know, it's sweet and everything. But it's very sweet, and sweet is all it does. There's maybe a little bit of complexity in the sweetness. Like I can make out the chocolate. I can make out the rum, the caramel, yeah, and the coffee. But another strange nuance in there is that it has this nutty smell that only comes out once it's on your skin. And it's not almond. It's almost, it's going to sound weird, but it's almost like peanut buttery. It almost smells like a nut butter. And it's really strange. It's kind of like you pick it up, but everything else is going on, so it doesn't really bother you, but it's this strange, I wouldn't call it a positive nuance. I would prefer it not to be there. So it's kind of a sweetness bomb with lots of different sweet notes going on. However, in performance, it does not perform that well. And that is something that is kind of disappointed me in some of the releases by Kilian, because if you're paying the big bucks for it, you want the big performance, and this does not get it. Yeah, like 2 or 3 hours, maybe. But the thing is I've asked people, you know, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Over time. And after a while, after like 1.5, 2 hours, it becomes such a muddled sweetness that they're just like, yeah, it kind of smells sweet. All the nuances that make it interesting in the beginning, the complex nuances, oh, the chocolate here, the rum here, the whatever, it's gone, and it's just a blob of just confused sweet. And there's a lot of fragrances that are a lot cheaper, a quarter of the price, that can do a blob of confused sweet. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's good, it smells good, and people would like it, but it's one of those where you gotta constantly be reapplying to keep the complexity of it going. If you care, if you just want your clubbing blob of sweetness, then great, here you go. But you're paying a lot more than you would need to, so you really got to like this. Sorry about that. Want to get the glare out of the way. We're working with an iPhone budget right now. I would say if you've got the income, you can look into it. If you could not comfortably buy this and it would, you know, detract from a lot of your fragrance budget, this would not be worth it as a standalone. This is not a standalone fragrance. This is too much for an office, too much for a casual occasion. Maybe if I would say this is just a night going out date fragrance, but it's so expensive for what it is. But on paper, it sounds so good. The chocolate, the rum, the caramel, the coffee, the sugar, that sounds really, really good, but the execution is not there. It does not execute that. Maybe for the first hour, but you're getting some peanut butter you didn't ask for. And by the time you get where you're going, you know, you got to drive to where you're going or whatever, you've lost these nuances that make it special and interesting. So personally, I'm going to probably get rid of this and go for something else I've been eyeing. but it was nice to have. I've barely used any juice, so maybe you'll find it on eBay when I put it there, because that's probably where it's going to go. Thanks, guys. Until next time.